Hi everyone, we'll be talking about how can OTs facilitate caregiving and infant bonding in the NICU. So some background information, caring for an infant can be a challenging shift for adults and parents and is one that requires preparation. The neonatal intensive care unit involves the collaboration of team members to ensure the best possible care is given. There are things a caregiver can do to facilitate that bond with their infant, such as breastfeeding, skin to skin, also known as kangaroo care, letting the infant hear and see you, and letting them know you are there with gentle touch. These factors are significant within an infant and caregiver relationship.
Now to move into the purpose of this, the potential restrictions and limitations of handling a premature infant can make the bonding experience difficult. Limitations that hinder the bonding experience may include tubes, monitors, incubators, IVs, and breathing aids. Having this in mind, a strong bond between an infant and a caregiver is important for the infant's optimal development. It is also crucial for occupational therapists to seek focus within performance patterns and performance skills of the caregivers in order to support caregiver infant attachment and development. With all that being stated, the purpose of this research review is to discuss how occupational therapists can facilitate caregiver and infant bonding within the NICU.
Some methodology, we did a systematic literature review, which was conducted to understand the impact on how occupational therapists can facilitate caregiver and infant bonding. The databases that were utilized for our search included PubMed, OTDBase, Google Scholar, Cochrane Library. These peer-reviewed articles were obtained from the databases using 5 different keywords such as NICU, occupational therapy, skin to skin, breastfeeding, and attachment. For our inclusion criteria, following the involving neonates or infants, focusing on occupational therapy interventions within the NICU setting, studies including quantitative data exploring roles and interventions, system reviews relating to occupational therapists in the NICU, studies providing early intervention techniques by occupational therapists, including skin to skin and breastfeeding. Lastly, we have the exclusion criteria. This was the populations that focused on a population outside of the neonatal period, research that focused on interventions that were non-related to occupational therapy, and studies that focused on other types of therapists, and research articles that were published more than 10 years ago.
Now, to move into the results of this research study, occupational therapists play a critical role in supporting caregivers and their infants. Research highlights the importance of co-occupations requiring the participation of an infant and caregiver. A study revealed various supports and barriers that were highlighted in Figure 1 and 2, were listed under the results. Skin to skin contact is a practice promoted by occupational therapists and has been shown to support developmental outcomes of premature infants by enhancing bonding. Occupational therapists are encouraged to facilitate caregiver and infant relationships through neurodevelopmental positioning, sensory integration, and family dynamics. Research has supported skin to skin contact can be beneficial in supporting oxytocin release and reducing stress. Additionally, occupational therapists contribute to programs like the Supporting and Enhancing Sensory NICU Experience, otherwise known as SENSE, and the Therapist Education and Massage for Parent-Infant Outcomes Program, otherwise known as TEMPO. These programs are designed to promote sensory exposure to infants in the NICU, which was the focus within the SENSE program, and provide education to the caregivers with weekly massage and therapy sessions, which was the focus within the TEMPO program. The programs are both designed to ensure focus of an infant and caregiver bonding within the NICU care. Despite the benefits of occupational therapy, there are challenges within the NICU care due to lack of specialized training and experience. Studies have revealed a need for more education and mentorship to build skills and confidence within the NICU. The participants of the study revealed that occupational therapists should require more than just knowledge to work effectively in the NICU, and there was a need for more on-the-job training and mentorship for support.
So moving on to clinical implications, our biggest takeaway was that there was a lack of not only education and knowledge, but preparation, competence, and confidence in occupational therapy graduates that were entering into such a demanding setting, such as the NICU. Within our research, there were research participants that revealed that they felt unprepared to work in the NICU, which in turn required them to have additional education, on-the-job training, and mentorship beyond your typical new job orientation period. Neonates require such a specific type of specialized care, including handling, positioning, consideration of physical barriers, and consideration of all other teams and staff that are working with the infant, that if there are novices or new OTs entering the field that reporting feelings of inadequacy, this can easily be tied back to the lack of time or extent within the graduate programs being spent on this area of care within occupational therapy. The need for additional time spent on NICU care within a graduate program is evident within the incompetence of new OTs entering the area specifically. For our discussion, those that are not familiar, there is or can potentially be a long list of different staff and specialties that are part of NICU care team. This tells us right away that such a field is to be approached as a collaborative effort with equal respect and opportunity for all parties involved, including and especially the infant and the caregiver. When it comes to therapy in the NICU, there are critical physical and environmental aspects that we as OTs or future OTs target specifically over any other specialty. Not only do we consider things like these physical and environmental barriers, but we strive to take both a client-centered and family-centered approach when it comes to care. So while the infant is the main focus, for OTs, we also take into consideration the bigger picture. Within our research, we found that NICU staff such as nurses, physicians, techs, and other specialties do not have the means, such as time, resource, or expertise to take on the role of caregiver infant bonding at the same capacity as occupational therapists and other rehab teams do. Physical separation and environmental barriers are a considerably dominant domain within the scope of occupational therapy community. Strategies that we've researched and found to be beneficial in the NICU, such as skin to skin, breastfeeding, cue-based therapy, and gentle touch that we mentioned before, reinforce the importance of neurodevelopment and facilitate in other areas within specific domains that occupational therapists target. Okay, and that concludes our presentation. Here are our references, and thank you for listening to our presentation on how OTs can facilitate caregiver and infant bonding in the NICU.